and like, ah, you're too noisy. And like, I said, you don't have to be around me.
Friendship may actually go beyond just relating on
A superficial
basis.
There's the adage that says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
There are some of us who are not very good at regular visit, but because they are friends,
You have to.
in order to maintain that friendship.
The emotional state of the parents is usually directly proportional to the emotional state of
the children. Hello viewers, welcome again to our favorite family show, The Living Room, right here at Equa Television International. Thank you for tuning in and deciding to spend this 1 hour with us. My name is Amaka Ocheke, and today we'll be discussing something very interesting. All of us have friends, hopefully. No, I'm told that there are a few people who don't have friends, but generally I believe most of us have friends, and many of our friendships have remained for many years. Some have evolved over the years. Some we've lost some over the years for various reasons. And so we decided today to talk about how to deal with the loss of a friend. A loss of a friend or loss of friends. And with me here in the living room to discuss this issue, as they say, exhaustively, is our dear Uncle Reverend Jerry Farouk. Uncle, you're welcome. And Mrs. I.B. Namo.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes, so we have a lot to say. But we will start, first of all, who really is a friend? Because I remember when I got married initially, for my husband, when he's talking about everybody, say, that my friend, that my friend. And I'm like, this person is not your friend. He says, you know, we had some argument about it. Like, this person is not your friend. He has never come to our house. You've never gone to his house. I don't even know this person. How is the person your friend? So after a while, he finally agreed that some people he was calling friends were actually acquaintances. They were not friends. So, and then, yes, maybe for men, maybe that's what they do. They tend to call everybody friends. And then in the neighborhood, you see, they don't even know the name of the person. You know, when men got, they'll be calling chairman, boss, or guy at the top, and all that. You're like, what's this person's name? I don't know. But you say the person is your friend and has been in your neighborhood for years. So when we say this friend, maybe Uncle will start with you because you're a man. Who is a friend?
A friend is someone who is very close to you in terms of relationship. You know them by name. They know you by name.
Yes.
You also have liberty to share your life with them. When you are in the presence of a real friend, you drop your guards. You are able to speak without choosing your words. You are not afraid that what you are saying is going to be, announced outside of your circle. Is somebody that you can confide in. Is somebody who will be there for you in times of need. That's why they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. Yeah. That is who I will call a friend. Whenever you are in need, he is there. Whether he is able to meet the need or not, he is there for you. He's someone that you can call at any time, and he will not refuse your call, and he will not object to doing your bidding unless and until it is impossible for him at that time. And even then, you will be satisfied with the explanation, and you can also count on him to do any other thing to help you out in that need. That is the person that I will call a friend.
Mrs. Namo, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I think Uncle has said almost everything, but a friend is someone who is always there for you, someone who knows you You know, it's somebody that can vouch for you. When people say something about it, say, no, we are not talking about my friend. I know her. She can't do, you know, things, something like this. My friend will not do something like this because I know her or I know him. So a friend is somebody who can defend you outside, who will not join others to castigate you, even when you do wrong. A friend will defend you and come back and say, I heard something like this, is it true? And try to find out what the real truth is. You know, that's a friend.
A friend really knows you.
Yeah.
I remember a few years back in my neighborhood, a friend of mine came and told me that somebody else in our neighborhood was talking about us and was telling them how we were military people. My husband was a military man. We were from somewhere in the western part of the country. I'm like, how did they even arrive at you know, that kind of? And my friend was laughing. Say, which military? You're not military people at all and all that. So just, you know, to reiterate the fact that a friend will really know you.
Yeah.
People who don't know you cannot be your friends. They don't know anything about you. So we're talking about dealing with the loss of a friend. So how can we lose friends?
Well, you can lose a friend by death. You can lose a friend by departure from where you have been together. Okay, a friend leaves and goes overseas, and for whatever reason, it's a loss. You can lose a friend when the relationship gets sour, and you are not able to recover and mend it. That is a loss. Sometimes it could be because there has been a disagreement that you couldn't agree on.
What do they call that? There's unreconcilable
differences.
differences.
Yes. You know, that can really be a loss. There can be a loss too if your ways part along the line on some issues. I know I have lost a friend who we parted ways.
Your value system.
Our value system, yes, became different. Yeah, and he was very strong on what he was doing, and biblically, it is wrong. What he did, it's wrong. But he said, well, he believes he's doing the right thing, and I couldn't sustain the friendship. So we lost. But I lost that friendship went. Let's call it that. You know. So these are ways that, you know, we can lose friends.
Okay. Mrs. Nama, are there any other ways you can think
Yeah,
of?
we can lose friends, you know, to other friends. Yes, when somebody suddenly comes in and wants to become the friend of your friend, and your friend cannot handle it. Maybe he comes with some lies about you, and maybe your friend believes the lie, and before you know it, they become friends and you are left out. Yes, and there are other ways.
I think that happens a lot amongst
yes,
people.
and another way is when you listen to gossip about friends without verifying. You could lose a friend like that, you know. You hear something about a friend, you didn't go to verify, you just believe that the friend could do that. In fact, you even say, I can't believe my friend can do this. And
So you
all
feel
that.
betrayed.
You feel betrayed, and you know, so it could lead to loss of friends. Yeah.
Okay. So we're here today to talk about how to handle loss of a friend, because I think losing a friend can be painful.
Yeah.
For sure.
Losing a friend can be painful, and I don't know in what ways can we be affected when you lose a friend, or any way you lose. How can it affect your life, maybe Mrs. Namo?
Okay. In 2014, I met a lady. She's working in Great Commission. We met when we were doing a part-time program together. We met and we just connected. And
As we say, your blood agreed.
yes, and it was a friendship that I thought would last a very long time. We did a lot of things together. We read together. We prayed together. And then when we finished our program, we were to go and come back the following year. So she insisted that I must go to her house. That was my first time of going to her house. I went to her house. Her husband is a missionary, I guess, and we ate together. And then that day, she drove me to my house the same day, and because she insisted she wanted to know my house too. So she came to the house, and it was so beautiful. She collected a book, and I just told myself I found a friend.
Right.
And then we went on holiday. Then I was sitting in our devotion in school where I work, and then my principal came in, and she was trying to talk to us about people in the transient nature of life, how people can just die. And then she gave an example of a lady who led the choir in Hillcrest on a Saturday, or is it on a Friday or so, and died on a Saturday. She drove herself to the hospital. She was describing her. I was trying to understand, is this not this woman that I know, So she kept describing what happened to her. She drove herself, she had ovarian cyst, she drove herself to the hospital, and she was given localized anesthesia, and she gave up. So when we finished praying and everything, I followed her to the office. I said, please, what's the name of the woman? I said, Priscilla. I said, which Priscilla? The one that used to work in Great Commission. She said, yes. I still didn't believe it. I left the office that day. I traced her house because I went there only once. I got to the house and I met a young lady, and I was like, I came to see Sister Priscilla. She now said, come in, and she said, sit down. She said, I'm sorry to let you know that Sister Priscilla is not. So I say, so it's true. So Priscilla has gone just like that. For days, I could see her pictures. I was just imagining all the things we did together and all the things we planned. Because there was a book I gave her, because I did a little of theology. She was just doing CRK, so there was a book of Greek that I gave her, and she had said she would read it during the holiday. When we come, we will share. I was just I couldn't understand what was going on. How can Priscilla just die like that, So that was one friendship that really hit me, and I feel like, I don't know why God took her away like that. It hurts me. I didn't even know her husband, because she was just discussing and saying, by the time we come back next year, we have to introduce each other to each other's husband. I don't know why we connected like that. And I was like, God, if you knew you were going to take this woman, why did you allow us to? Because that's one loss that really hit me. And I feel like such losses, it took me years, because every time I see, yes, I had to go and buy another Greek. I couldn't ask anybody for the textbook. I had to go and buy another Greek textbook. But anytime I see that textbook, I remember Priscilla. And it hit me hard. That's one loss that it was hard to handle.
Are there other emotions that may come with loss of a friend? Okay, assuming the friend didn't die. But like you said, differing values, relocation.
Yeah. Yes, I have had several friends who have gone in terms of death. And to answer your first question before I add to it, yes, the loss of a friend through death can be as painful as that of a relation. I have lost brother, sister, father, mother, but I will tell you that some of my friends that have died, I have felt the heat and the pain harder than some of my own blood relations because of how close we were.
You know, the Bible says that there's a friend that sits closer than a brother.
You know, so yes, it can really, really take a part of you out of you when you lose a friend to death. But losing a friend too from other means, like these cases of losing value, and you part ways because you don't see things the same way. Again, I have missed, you know, a friend, like I said, particularly that this friend is in my mind very clearly. We did NYSC together, and we served in the youth corps fellowship together, and I was at his wedding, he was at our wedding, and then later on, you know, his lifestyle began to change, and you know, so I confronted him. I said, what is happening? And he said, well, he just feels you can do this. I said, but it's very clear in the Bible that
This is wrong.
This is wrong. He said, well, these women, actually, he's helping them. he's helping them, and that's why he's bringing them into his life. And sadly, one of them said to me, actually, it is now that I really know the Lord since I got married to X. I said, really? And she said, yeah. He is now teaching me the word of God. And, it was very painful. It was very painful. I've not seen him for a long time now, but each time that thought comes to my mind, I feel, what really went into his mind?
Happened?
It really went into his mind, and it didn't end at just 2. It went to 4.
Whoa.
You know,
He's
and,
teaching them the word of God.
so yes,
never
a
enough.
school, Sunday school in his house.
In his house.
So that too can be very painful because you have known each other and you have believed in one thing together. You have served in ministering to others together, and all of a sudden he thinks differently and walks away. And I must say that I didn't get angry at him, but I became very compassionate because I could see a derailment. Perhaps there were certain things that we didn't know that were happening in the background until when it erupted into that. But the point here is, as a friend, I felt, you know, that I have lost somebody who we could have done a little more together, you know. So, yeah, it can be hurtful. And the one that I've lost to distance is a very close friend in secondary school and after that, and is relocated out of the country. But it is almost every week or every 2 weeks, every fortnight we talk on the phone. So,
You're not really lost there.
so it's still there, but when we talk, it's as if, oh my, why don't you come back? Why don't you come over? You know, so that feeling of togetherness, it's not the same when you talk on the phone.
Yes,
You know, so you feel I wish we could be back again and do the things that we did together. So that too takes a little part of you when you cannot sit down, can't hold hands and play the games that you played before, go to places you used to go, because you have the distance between you now has widened. Yeah.
Okay, so let's okay, when your friend dies, like Mrs. Nambu talked about her friend that died, what do you do? Because you had also earlier said that sometimes their friends are even closer than your own relatives. So how do you cope? How do you handle it? Because the reality of life is, as life goes on,
Yeah.
either we lose our friends will lose
Lose
us.
us, yeah.
Either way, somebody is going to lose a friend. So how do we cope? How do we?
Just like we handle the death of family members, we should know that life is transient and anybody can die at any time. It's not going to be easy, but we ask God for healing. And we also stand in to, get help, and be willing to allow God to heal you so that you can open up your heart for another friend. Because before then, because after I got married, it was a little difficult for me to start friendship again because most of my friends were single and all of us somehow separated after I got married. Some people traveled, like that. Everybody went with their husband. So this was the first friend I was making, and I was very excited that I'm getting someone who thinks like me, who will pray with me, who will understand me. Because we didn't meet for a long time, but we started saying very deep things to each other. So when she left, I remember my husband was saying, "Who is this Priscilla?" Because every evening I will come and say, "Priscilla, how can you just go like that? What did I do to you?" But after a while, I started consoling myself in the fact that Priscilla's life is in God's hands. God knows why he had to take Priscilla, and I believe that God does not make mistake. And I asked God to heal me and to help me open up to other friends. It wasn't easy, At first, if I'm getting close to somebody, I'll say, "I hope this one is going to die again." But after that, I've made a few friends and they are still alive. When I remember Priscilla now, I just remember her, as somebody that I would have really loved to be with, but God knows why he has taken her away. So just like family members, let's get healing. I worked with a student. Till today, she's not been able to round up her project because during the time when they finished their exams, they were just giving project topic and they went to their supervisor. And then a few weeks after that, her friend died. So, and it's been 3 or 4 years now. She couldn't handle it.
No.
She just could have done everything. She went into depression. She feels like, God, why will God do this to her? This was her backbone. We shouldn't get to that extent. We'll get friends, we'll lose some. They will lose us one day. So let's allow God to heal us and help us to get other friends. And life goes on.
Yeah, as Uncle had said one other program, he said we shouldn't hold things too tight.
Too tight, even friends.
So, do you want to add anything to what we can do when we lose our friends to death?
Well, the Bible actually tells us not to grieve like unbelievers do. And so when we lose friends, like we lose family to death, we know that it is a temporary separation. For any friend of ours who is a believer, is a temporary separation. We know that we shall meet again. So the same way we apply that to fellow believers who are other siblings or parents, we apply the same to friends who are believers who we know we are going to see again. Interestingly, today is the birthday of one of my very close friends who went to be with the Lord about 8 years ago. And his wife posted something on Facebook to say, this picture, and I responded. But when I saw his picture again, I said, well, my friend is enjoying himself in heaven.
And, still here.
And I'm still here. Someday I will join him.
Yeah.
So we should not allow the loss of a friend to make us lose ourselves, because going into depression because of a loss of a friend is cheating you. You are cheating yourself, and making it difficult for you to make another friend, because you have held too tightly to this one. And the Lord has said, well, it's time for them to go. It's time for you to open up for others, to make other friends, or let others make you their friend. You know, yes, many of the friends that I lost, I felt like, wow. So how can I go on? But I didn't. You know, made other friends, and
Life went on.
life has continued. We should not allow that to deprive us of the joy that we have in the Lord, and the comfort that we can get from God will enable us to comfort others also.
Yeah, and I think also for me, from my own experience, I also think keeping short accounts with your friends, so that if anything, I think the regrets are more if your friend dies and you had left some things unsettled. I think that it happened to me once, so I know, but well, I wasn't the one who left things unsettled. It's my friend who I didn't know that, you know, she still had some things she was carrying, and her deathbed, she called me and told me some things that I had done which were not even true, but this wasn't the time to begin to say, oh, I didn't do, you know, and all that. And that, for me, that really hurts. That really hurts deeply. So,
well, you've raised a very important issue. I had two instances that I remember right away of things I left undone with a friend, and then I lost them, and I deeply regretted not doing that.
so what we need to do, let's do.
Yeah, you know, let's keep short
Check
accounts.
account, yeah.
This is something, the first one is between him and his wife. There was something, and he said, please come and help us with this issue, you know. And I said, okay. And I failed to do that. After his demise, his widow said to me, you know, we wanted you to do this.
Oh.
We were unable to do it. It was painful. So each time now there is anything that
No
a friend-
procrastination.
no procrastination anymore. You know.
Sharp.
Sharp. I have learned not to procrastinate for too long when it comes to a friend, because those two, the other one was not his spouse, but another situation
I needed to
that
handle.
I needed to handle, and I didn't handle before he passed on. So, yeah, it can be very, very painful when you lose a friend and you have matters arising.
Arising,
Yeah.
matters
So please,
pending.
Yeah, matters pending. Don't.
So I
allow
think
it to
even
happen.
for everybody, whether relatives, you know,
Friends.
don't
Friends,
don't leave
don't
things
leave
Keep
pending.
short accounts, yeah.
So
Whatever
we
you
don't,
need
we
to
don't
do.
have we don't have people's lives in our hands.
Yes,
Yeah, we
life
don't
is
know.
transient, so
don't know when it will
don't
go.
hold to,
So what you need to do.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah, and I think also, if you want to, people say give people their flowers while they're still alive.
Yeah.
So if you want to appreciate, if you need to appreciate your friend and tell them that you value them, I think this is the time to do that.
Yeah.
We don't wait until they are dead. Then,
You start
like I tell my husband,
giving
anything.
testaments.
I've told my husband, anything you don't tell me now. Did I die? Don't say it. And it's like, what will happen? I said, I will stand up and I will tell you to stop. But that's a joke. But I think it's better to tell people what you
Yeah.
need to tell them while
Yeah.
they are alive, and not when they are gone. We come
Start
and
giving
write long
testaments.
testaments, as you said. Meanwhile, we never told them how we value them, how we
When they
appreciated
were
them, or how we, liked what they were doing or what we liked about them.
Yeah.
So this is the time to do that, and not wait until they die. We'll come and tell them all that. Okay. When we lose friends through betrayal.
Betrayal. I wanted to say that one of the things that could also cause loss of friends is when you have a friend who feels that she owns you or he owns you. He doesn't want you to keep any other friend. He wants
Those controlling friends.
controlling friends. You know, the day you try to say, wait, no, I'm also a human being, I can't do this anymore, you know that the friendship is going to end.
But I think we've spoken about this before in the past. If you have a friend or friends
Yeah.
who feel that they have a monopoly
Value
of you,
you.
that's not correct.
It's not.
I don't think anybody should want to
Hold
control
to
you
you.
or make sure that you don't have any other friend. If you have other friends, they become
Become
upset.
trouble, yes.
I think that friendship should end. It's not
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. Something is wrong somewhere and it's not
That's
right.
true.
Nobody should want to control you and you shouldn't let anybody control you.
So when you lose friends to betrayal, let it go. Try to sort out issue to make sure that you have a clean slate yourself, so that it won't be that it was because of you that this thing happened. If it is possible to meet the friend to try to right the wrong, try to do that. But don't make it look like, you can't lose this friend. No. Every human being is on his own. So if they decide
Nobody's
to be your
indispensable,
if
as you
they
say.
decide to be your friend and wake up tomorrow morning and feel there was a reason why you cannot be their friend again, I'm one of those persons. Somebody will say I don't bloody care. Not that I don't really bloody care, but I don't feel like you owe me an explanation or you owe me so much as to remain as my friend. I will do everything, to try to do my best to maintain the relationship. But if tomorrow you feel like you have found other friends or you have now seen that I wasn't the kind of friend that you really wanted and you want to go,
It's okay.
so be it. I wouldn't want to die on top of you because you are not my maker now. I told one of our friends when she was making trouble and I say, see, the only friendship that I will lose, and if suicide was a good thing, I would commit suicide, is God. As long as I don't lose God, I'm not afraid to lose you. Because she kept saying that you will lose me as your friend. I say, and so if I lose you, my life is not going to end. I'm still going to be alive. You will be alive. You'll be doing your thing. I'll be alive. I'll be doing my thing. It's no big deal. Before you became my friend, I was.
And
After you have left being my friend, I will still be. Yeah. So don't hold tight to friendship to the point that and please allow human beings to be human beings. Don't make a human being a god, so that when they make mistake, you feel like, the gods have failed you. He's a human being. He's liable to make mistakes. So expect your friends to fail, so that it doesn't hit you that hard. If they fail and you try to correct it, like Uncle was saying about the man whose value changed, you try. My principal then will always say that some relationship will have to be revalued or something like that. So there are some relationship or some friendship that you get to a point where you say, sorry, this thing cannot continue. I can't be in this with you. You know my value system, it doesn't go well with this. And so I can't continue. So don't make anybody a god.
Okay, what do you do when your friend betrays you or you feel you have been betrayed?
Well, like I shared in some other episodes, my loss of job was connected with a friend, with two friends actually, who were at the background of making me lose my job. I was initially highly disappointed because I had invested a lot into them. Actually, one of them was going to be fired earlier than me. That was just before I was made director. And when I was made director, I was told that, well, he needed to go. And I said, no, I would like to rehabilitate him. And I did. And so it was very painful when I heard
this person
was
stabbed you in the back.
Stabbed me in the back. And but I said, well, I did not regret anything that I did before this incident. And well, the distance was there, but I heeded to what the Lord had revealed to me, not to be angry, not to be resentful, not to be bitter. And I actually reached out to them. I reached out to the two of them, but they were too
Guilt-stricken.
guilt-stricken. That's the word.
That's
you
the
know,
word.
to come back.
Come back.
You know, but I was happy that I took, in fact, a very dramatic step. I attended a training program where they asked us if you have anything or anybody in your mind that has hurt you, and if there's sin in your life that you would like to get rid of, write it on a piece of paper or write the person's name, and we are going to do something here. We are going to put them into this little container and set them on fire and let these things go. You know, so I wrote the names of these two friends, and I burnt them. You can't believe how free I felt that day. You know, that I felt disappointed, I felt betrayed, but when I let go, I really now became free. And today, if I see them, I will hug them like I hugged them before, very freely. The relationship is
redefined.
Yes, that's right. But it is not totally gone. You know, not totally gone.
So-
You know, but something has happened. You know, there's a little,
The dynamics have
the
changed.
dynamics have changed. Yeah.
So when we feel when somebody betrays us, as she says, we should, as you have said also, we should be willing to forgive and let go. But as you also said, I think as much as possible we should try to have the conversation, that difficult conversation,
Yeah.
because I've realized sometimes that what you think sometimes may not be
May
very
not
correct.
be completely
Yes.
correct. Yeah.
So it would be good to have the conversation to say, let's talk about this. What exactly is going on? And you may find out that it's not exactly what you think that is going on, or you may also find out in the conversation
It's worse than what you
everybody
think.
will say what, and you forgive yourselves.
Yes.
And then sometimes you also find out you're the one who is the offender. Yeah, because I've
You did something that
yes,
you didn't
I've-
know had hurt him,
yes.
and then he's
yes, I've had to have those kind of conversations, and then it turns out that I'm the offender. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I never, for the life of me, would have imagined that this was what was going on. I just felt the other person was acting up, and I'm like, what's the problem? And then when I heard the story that I was the one who offended, I'm like, please, I'm very sorry. You know, that's not what I intended to do. And I also, you know, when scripture says, as much as lies within you, be at peace with all men.
Amen.
So I know sometimes people say, that person is, I beg, I've had enough of that person. You know, but I think as Christians, if you have, somebody feels you have offended, I think you should apologize, try to make it right. Sometimes you may not agree that this is an offense, but if the person considers it
As
Yeah.
an
as
offense.
an offense, you know, because
Accept
sometimes
it and
I've
deal with
joked
it.
with people or something and they
And
took
they took
offense.
Take offense, yes.
I'm like, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention. I didn't mean to hurt you, but
Exactly.
I'm very sorry. But that means that next time I'm more careful
Careful.
The
how
kind
I
of
talk
joke.
Exactly.
with that person. So we should make effort to make sure we do things, we make things right.
Right.
But if the person doesn't want, because there are still some people too, you say, okay, I'm sorry, they will not agree.
They will not.
And they say,
still
keep your
hold the
sorry to
right
yourself. I don't want whatever. But you've tried your best. You have done as much as lies within you.
Yeah.
So you need to let it go. Okay. Your friend value systems have changed. What do you what do you do? Because I also remember when I became serious as a Christian, some of my friends, well,
to
you
go.
expect some friendships just
Went away.
went, and I didn't go pursuing the friendships. I just knew that we are not
Yes.
on the same level
level
anymore.
anymore.
You know, the value system's different.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't bother. It was even better for me because I think some of these people were a problem to me, dragging me back. So, Uncle, what do you do? Especially now as an adult, you see your friend, he's doing something different from
What you
what you expect.
First and foremost, I would want to have that difficult conversation. My friend, what is happening? You know, try to find out what has happened and that has caused this, and help as much as possible as a friend to help them recover and see where they are going wrong. A few friends that I confronted. Confrontation does not necessarily mean fighting.
fighting.
By the
Yeah.
way,
No, it's
it's
a
just
discussion.
dealing
A
with
loving
the issue, loving
discussion.
way of dealing with things. Where we're able to get to understand, and the friendship continued. So reach out to them, and be the friend in need at that time. That you are there to help them. Be the friend indeed at that time to help their need. But if they are recalcitrant and don't want to listen, then that is where the friendship has to go, because you cannot because of a friend change values that you know are, especially if they are godly. There are some values that are merely opinions, but when godly values are affected, then definitely that friendship goes. As much as possible, keep, if you are able to and you are in the same place, you don't become enemies.
Yeah.
But that friendship goes.
Well, keep communication lines open.
Keep the communications line open in case it comes back. The first case that I mentioned, he was adamant, straightforward, and said no. There was no discussion.
He had made up his mind.
He has made up his mind.
There was no going back.
There was no
according to
going
him.
back. So there was no way I could do anything. So we simply parted ways, and that has been up to now. We just parted ways. But we've met a few times after that, and jolly good fellows, and that is all. But we,
They are
no
not close
fellowship
anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, reach out, but don't compromise. Thank you. That's the word. Don't compromise. Don't lose your own values because you want to keep a relationship and friendship.
Okay. Mrs. Nam, also they are friends sometimes. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
They just go.
He didn't do
solo,
anything.
yeah.
Just
They
are
just
not
go
friends
solo.
anymore.
They just go solo on you. They just decide that.
or you are the one who has gone solo
go
on them.
solo. Sometimes some friendship just end. Maybe you were friends for a particular time and a
Yeah.
reason, and when the things that brought you together is over, the friendship seems to be over, and no bad feelings most times with such friends. You are still communicating. I have a few friends like that who used to be very close, but somehow we just fizzle out. But we still call each other once in a while. How are you doing? Long time. How's your family? But what we used to do together before is no longer there. So some friendship are like that.
So some friendships are for a season.
Season, yes, yeah.
For a season and for a reason.
Yeah.
So when that one is gone, it's gone.
I think I wanted to say that, to add to what Uncle said, the issue of value system is common among young people. When a young man, you start with a good value, especially biblical value, and then your friends, as you grow a little older, your friends are introducing to some things that does not align with your value. You should be careful how you maintain such friendship.
Because sometimes you
can
seem to have similar values.
Yes, but
because they didn't have opportunity to do certain things, they
Yes,
didn't have the money.
yeah.
But as we're growing,
you discover
people
that
have money,
yes,
people now have opportunity.
yes.
And
No
then
parents breathing down anybody's neck. So
Exactly.
you can
They-
do what
the
you
real
want.
them now
Yeah.
They
come
come
out.
out. So such friends, you need to tell them, I can't be here. tell them I've not changed. If you have changed, I've not changed. And if we have to be together, it has to be as it used to be. For now, it looks like we can't be together again. And so I've heard a few young persons say that they are still my friend. I don't do the things they do, but don't be too sure of yourself. Because anything can happen. We've had friends who drugs friends, to expose them to sexual misconduct. Friends who drug friends. There was a young man who once told us that he has a problem with his heart now, chest, I don't know how you medical people call it. Because his friends were smoking. And they weren't smoking before, but after secondary school, they became big boys.
And they had money and the means now.
They started to, but he was still making friends with them. He was a church person, he goes, but they were still friends. So one day they talked to him to smoke. He said, Sam, he cannot smoke. I thought that at that point he should have run away. He still was hanging around with them. So one day they took him to, they deceived him to somewhere, and they forced this thing down his throat, and it affected. In fact, he said he went blank, and the next time he saw himself was in the hospital. And that thing has affected him till today. He's a married man now, but till today he's still treating the effect of what they did to him. So you have to be very careful. Once you notice something that is not correct in the life of your friend, you ask questions. I used to know a young man in Sokoto then. He came up one day and started talking about William Branham. I said, brother, what happened? He said, William Branham's ministry, what? He was. I said, this thing you are talking, it doesn't agree with. We say, no, that I should come, that they will train me. I said, I've had enough training in SCS, in NIFES. This new training, I don't want it. He came to my house, he was trying to use whether Bible or whatever to convince me. He did everything. He just noticed that this one,
wasn't working.
So we had to part with, So let's hold to our value system. Let's not give up any of your value system because of a friend, just because you want to keep to your friends. So let some friends go.
So when you should know when it's time for the relationship has to
should end. Yeah.
You just let it go. Don't hold on to
at all
past memories and say for something that is not healthy for you. You should, especially as you said, different value systems.
Yeah.
They will pull you.
Company corrupts
good morals. They'll pull you in a direction you didn't plan to go. So you need to, when it's time to this friendship to end, it has to go. It just has to go. Sorry, but my work with God is more important than this friendship with you. So it has to go. Okay, I think it's almost time for us to go. So
there's one example of good friendship that I would like us to learn from. The friendship between Jonathan and David. Jonathan was the heir apparent, and David was the one that God chose to become king. And because they were friends, Jonathan's loyalty to a friend went beyond
even his family.
His family. He was ready to serve his friend when he becomes king. And did not really fight to get back his quote and unquote rights as the son of the
king,
living king, to become the next king. And whenever I think of that friendship between Jonathan and David, I want to be a Jonathan to my friends. And I think that's what we should all aspire to do. Give our best to our friends, so that if they lose us, now we have been talking about losing friends, so when they lose us, they will know that they have lost someone who has really loved them. And, so this will be my party shots, that let's be the friends that we want others to be to us.
Serious. Mrs. Namu.
Let's not hold too tight to friendship, So
you shouldn't hold
that-
tight to anything.
so
like-
that when we lose them, we feel like we have lost everything. Let's allow friendship to grow, allow it to stay. If it is time to go, it's time to go.
And I too will end with be a Jonathan friend. Be like Jonathan to your friends. Add
Yeah.
value to your friends. Make their lives better. Be a blessing to your friends. And as we've been told, so that when they lose you, they will know that they have lost somebody. So thank you, viewers, for being with us, for not touching that dial, staying right here till the very, very end. So, Reverend Farouk, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
wonderful contributions. Mrs. Ivy Namo, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Mom.
sharing, even from your personal experience too. And viewers, thank you for being here with us till the very end. Again, my name is Amaka Ucheke, and we look forward to seeing you again, same time, same place, the living room at Equa Television. Please go out there and be a friend like Jonathan. God bless you.